starting the day off with Wendy Batten. She is going to be presenting the topic of the ROI of thinking like a creative CEO. And so Wendy is a business coach for creative shop owners who prides herself on helping retailers uncomplicate and simplify their retail or creative business. Wendy is a creative first herself, actually. She ran a thriving DIY studio and retail business in Moncton for several years before actually franchising her business so that she could devote her time to coaching retailers in her passion and finding that business success that they originally dreamed of. So she helps all of us as creatives go from being a creative running a retail business to a creative confident CEO running a creative retail business. So she works with all kinds of industry leaders, creatives, and shopkeepers around the world with these business courses. She leads group coaching and consulting programs, all from her tiny crooked cottage, where she is joining us from by the sea in Blue Rocks, Nova Scotia today, where she lives with her husband. So hi, Wendy, welcome to the session.
Hi, I am so honored to be here today. What a great place to be for us all today, isn't it? And we're in Nova Scotia where it's freezing rain, so we're hoping we don't lose power today.
Yeah, we're hopeful, fingers crossed, that doesn't affect us at all today.
Right.
So, Wendy, I'm going to pass the hosting duties on to you and let you get on with your presentation. So thanks so much.
Fantastic. So let's see if our tech works today. I just told Greg prior to starting that I am a much better coach and creative and CEO than I am a tech wizard. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try to share my screen and you're all not gonna laugh at me. Thank you for being here, everybody. I know it's hard to take time out of your day, especially those of you that are retailers. So I'm going to make an attempt to share my screen, my friends. And don't you all wish, just this on a side note, don't we wish that we were all together at a summit, but it is nice to be able to have the technology to do this as well too. So, and thank you so much, for the opportunity to be here. Today, I'm going to talk to you about some simple strategies just to shift that mindset of being a CEO, of running our business. And I've been in the trenches, so I totally know exactly how a lot of us feel. So let's talk about the ROI of being a CEO. So can we see my screen? Just want to make sure.
You can see it, yeah.
You can see it? Okay. Yep. Thanks, Craig. I was like, I'm literally all sweaty, not from doing the presentation because I'm super passionate about this, but from the tech side of things. So, all right, now my things aren't moving. Hang on, guys. All right, so one of the things when we do presentations and we're taking the time out of our day to be here, I just like take 2 seconds, turn off all the distractions. You know, all those bings and bongs that come in. I don't know why my screen's moving on itself by itself. Let's just hope it doesn't keep doing that. Okay, there's 2 roles that we need to fill as a shop owner, right? And if we want to be successful, we need to have these 2 roles. So the first role is the front of the stage. I call that the front of the stage. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. So we have that, a lot of us have that under our, we're doing so well with that. We're the face of the image. We love on our customers. We have these beautiful creative businesses. We love doing all the things at the front, running our retail business. And then there's that second role that a lot of us have a tendency not to avoid, but we don't really like to fill, right? And some of you may have somebody actually filling this role, being the CEO for you, but most of us don't. Most of us have to run our retail business on both of these roles. So that second role, that CEO role, it's not so fun. It's the no person, right? It's the data-driven, numbers crunching, big picture planning, expense looking, looking at the data, the backstage person, that person sometimes that we don't necessarily want to talk to or listen to maybe, or take that role on. So I'm hoping that today I'm hoping in this presentation that we'll understand both roles that we need to go and why the CEO role is so important. And without that CEO role, that whole front stage, we're not gonna be able to do anything with it, and it's not going to see the success that we want to see. So we can get that success that we want. And again, success is different for everybody. So you might have showed up here today because you're a little bit nervous about the control that you have in your retail business. Hello, 2020 pandemic, all the things happening. Maybe you're feeling tired of winging it. and you want to get some control, or you're curious and interested to learn how we can simplify our business. And honestly, being the CEO and taking on those extra roles, even during these crazy, crazy days that we're all in right now, it's taking on this CEO role. So that could be why you're here as well too. And I want to honor you for all being here. So before we get started, I'd love if in the comments, and I hope this is okay with Greg in the chat box, and hopefully that's okay. Just let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to know where your shop is, where you're watching from, and in what your business name is, and where you are, what you're all about. So what we're going to cover today, again, is some strategies to be confident about that CEO role, and some of the things to get us started, to step into that role, right? To really step into feeling a little bit more confident. I'm going to give you 3 strategies and some tools to work through with that. So I just wanted to drop this in here. I know Greg did a great introduction. Oh, hang on, I'm having a little tech issue here. Okay, so I opened my brick and mortar Front Porch Mercantile again in 2012. And I say here, I did it I'm accidental on purpose entrepreneur. So, I mean, I had a plan. I'm not an idiot. None of us are. We didn't get as far as we are without a plan, but I was really a hobbyist that just really wanted to bring my creative experiences and my products to the retail world, and it was phenomenal, but I did not have that CEO role. So I've been in business as well for 20 years with my husband. We have other businesses. We've run other, and we still do, we run a service-based industry. So entrepreneurship is not new for me. I will tell you what happened though. I showed an incredible increase in the profits and in the confidence, had bigger paychecks once I realized how to put that CEO role hat on. And I often joke, I say, I literally wear my CEO hat, friends, when I have to, because sometimes we have to put that on. And that's what happens moving into that CEO role. We get super confident. So I've been in the trenches. I've worked as a consultant and industry leader for years. And I have my inner circle. I have courses and lots of different ways that I'm working, but I'm working with hundreds of retailers right now. So, and I'm a fast talker. Sorry, I'm also Canadian, right? So I say sorry a lot. And I see my screen's kind of blocked off. And I do live in this tiny little cottage in a fishing village, and I coach retailers all over the world. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what I do. Okay, here we go. I lost my tech here again. So the goal of being a CEO, the ROI of being a CEO, is to really give us the confidence we need. This is Molly DeVoe from the Painted Attic in Halifax, Nova Scotia, one of my clients. And Molly, this is a picture of her actually opening. Look at that smile on her face. She's super confident. She's opening. This is a picture of her opening her second newest, biggest location. Well, she had moved in a big location. She also has a second location. She's a creative first. She's a creative and artist. She has a beautiful short store. Her front end is awesome. Her customers love her. Everything is great. But you need to learn to put the CEO hat on that I showed you, and now I have messy hair, but anyway, put your CEO hat on so that you can understand all the back end stuff as well too, right? So retailers that shift their mindset to truly embracing the added role of being that CEO, not just the shopkeeper, not just the hobbyist, they're the ones that see the success. So we have to do both roles. I see it every day. So our first strategy, the first strategy that we have is the CEO mindset. We have to think like a CEO. And I get this all the time. I get a lot of my creative shop owners say, my brain just doesn't like the business stuff. But guess what? We have to do the business stuff. We can still be beautiful, enthusiastic, heart-centered creatives and love on our customers, but we have to have that back roll filled as well. We have to think about the business stuff. We might as well call it a day. And I'm not that blunt usually, but we have to call it a day if we're not going to do the business stuff. The business is the engine. It's what keeps us going, right? It's where the profits, it's where the magic is. So we can do both. We are totally capable of doing both things. And everything does begin with thought. So if you feel uncomfortable about certain aspects of that backstage part, I don't know the metrics and the data. I don't know what to talk. I don't want to. That's why I hear that a lot. I don't want to. But you don't know it yet. So add the word yet to the end of that. It'll just change your mindset. I don't know how to do that yet. I don't know how to do, I don't know what what I should be working on, or what my business, how do I change this? How do I understand my inventory better? I don't know how to do that yet. We build skills every day. You're here today building a skill. We're doing it every day as creative shop owners. So just think about it, all comes from thought. So one of the first strategies for this mindset portion, and people laugh at this and don't think I'm all woo woo or whatever. One of the first strategies is really diving into what's going right in our business. This can be, it's a really powerful thing to get us out of the mindset of, especially you guys, this year, right? Especially this year. What's going right in our business right now is really important for us to look at opportunities. It helps us look at what's working, and journaling that, whether it's journal or marketing in your calendar or just every day, really taking time to figure out what is working in our business, what is going right, and acknowledging that, because that's what moves us forward. If we're always dwelling in the negative, those thoughts don't serve us, right? So it's a powerful thing to ask yourself every day. Second strategy, a little bit more difficult. So the CEO, be thinking like the confident CEO that I know you can be and that we all can be. We are not born with confidence. A lot of my retailers will say, well, I'm not as confident as Sylvia. I'm not as confident as that person. I'm not confident in the business stuff. I'm really confident in the creative side and I love what I do, but I'm not confident in that side of things. But you know what? We need to grow those confidence muscles. It's our business muscles. It's a skill that's learned. Nobody is born with confidence. Think about when you learn to drive a car. When you learn to drive a car, somebody had to teach you and you had to get in and you're all shaky the first time, and now you might not think about it if you drive a car. But those types of things, or driving a bicycle, any of those things, we learn, we build those muscles, we build those skills, right? So we have to acknowledge them and get confident. I also put here, some people don't like the term CEO, which is fine. So some of my retailers call themselves head honcho, queen creative, whatever you want to call yourself. It's that backroom person that has to be confident. When you think like a CEO, when you do get confident on that role, you will see that you can even put your imaginary hat on or your real one, if you have one like I do right here. You put that CEO hat on, you stand taller, you make better decisions. You start thinking like the CEO when your mind shift is there. So you can build those confidence muscles just like everybody else. So we're going to retrain our brain to step into that role. We're going to think about that. We're going to make sure that we are understanding why we need to be into that CEO role. We're going to be conscious every day. These are some tools, hopefully that will help you. Write down your daily what's going right. You're going to build the skills and confidence. And we're going to step out of that hobby mindset. If we have a hobby mindset, we're going to have a hobby pay. We can't keep that up. So this is Jill. Meet Jill. So Jill is one of my creative retailers I work with regularly. And Jill used to, and she's going to hate this picture. She's watching. Sorry, Jill. But Jill has a beautiful retail business. And when I first met Jill, she was not a confident CEO. She is now. She has expanded and grown, and she's made business decisions based on data and metrics and being more confident. She's had partner relationships. She's grown she's moved to a larger location. She's kicking butt right now. She's doing wholesale. She's got all kinds of changes happen. And it's because, and she'll tell you, it's because she now stands taller and makes decisions from a point of view from a CEO, not just a heart having fun running that beautiful business. She still does all of that, but now she also has the CEO hat on, and it's been a pleasure to watch Jill, really get confident and step into that role. It's always a pleasure to see that. So the second strategy, told you there was 3. The second strategy is a big mistake I personally made so many times early on in my retail business career: systems and help. Those 2 things. I literally would do this, and I see it again with my clients all the time. Systems. I just don't have time for systems, and I don't need any help. So these are the 2 things that a lot of us kind of get tied up in. And again, a good CEO is going to put systems in place, and they're going to ask for help. If nothing changes, right? if we are, if whatever it is that you are looking to change, whether it's growing, expanding, whether it's bringing more foot traffic in, whether it's expanding your product line or franchising your business, or whatever it is you want to do, it like what got us here isn't going to get us there, right? What got us here isn't going to get us there. We always have to be growing and expanding. This is why we have to be, or, learning new things. And we need to get out of that circle and that rut that we kind of get into, right? If we're not looking at the data and the metrics, and we're not putting systems in place, and if we are not seeking help to leapfrog, like we just need to leapfrog through a lot of those messy old weeds, that's what happens. So we can prevent chaos with systems, workflows, and asking for help. This is something that a lot of us, this is where burnout happens if we don't put systems in place. Systems don't have to be complicated. Systems can be super simple, just daily tasks, things that we're doing all the time, things that can just help us move to the next level. Workflows are another thing that I see a lot of retailers, like we don't bother with workflows. We just keep doing the same things over and over again. And again, asking for help, whether that's from a business professional or having somebody come into your shop and do things that would free up and energize you. These are things that as a CEO, we need to start making those decisions. We make it harder on ourselves. So we make it harder. And do you know why we make it harder on ourselves? Because we just don't want to flex those business muscles. So we have a tendency to avoid learning new things because, again, we're stuck in that nothing's changing. We're just doing the same thing. Personal growth is super important for all of us. And as a CEO, we need to evaluate the weak links, right? We need to evaluate what's not working. We need to evaluate where we need help. That internal chaos will just continue. And we also avoid it because sometimes it's easier to stay busy in the things that we're comfortable with, that front of house stuff, which I know is a lot of stuff, right? There's so much to do there that we have a tendency not to want to do it in the back, not to get involved with that back end stuff. So we make it harder. So now it's harder and harder, and we just keep avoiding it. Anybody out there like avoid doing the accounting or the bookkeeping or anything like that? It's just like, we just avoid it, right? Because we're busy. We're not busy, but we're doing the front of stuff. We also have a tendency to have a superhero syndrome. We're not Superwoman or Superman or Superperson, and we should be wearing that CEO role as a super visionary for our business. And a super visionary, that's the CEO role, is looking ahead. It's understanding the weak links. It's looking for help. It's putting systems in place. It's doing all of the things that we need to do to make things easier for our business and more successful, right? And we do have a tendency to get stuck in that role. So a couple of questions to ask yourself here. What do you need help with? Like, where can you get help? And this could be even from home to, getting a housekeeper at home to free up time for your shop. Where can you get some help? I mean, where can you get help? So there's, there's associations like this that can help you. There's coaches, there's mentors, there's, your business community. Do you have a financial advisor, a banker, your accountant, all of these people? Sometimes we just don't think to reach out and get help. It could also mean bringing in help just to help you with the little things in your shop. One of my retailers brings in somebody to mop her floors now and frees up her time to do the things that matter, to give her time to be the CEO. So what are some simple tasks that you hate doing? What feels super heavy for you? And those are where we start getting into, that's where we start deciding that we need help. As far as systems go, what are tasks that you do in your business, like repeatedly over and over again? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. My thing keeps jumping. I don't know why. But what are the tasks that you're doing repeatedly over and over? Write those down and create systems, opening and closing procedures, how we unpack our boxes, how we're ordering, how we're shipping, all these little things. Just take some time and write out some, steps to do that. These are little things that CEOs do and help move your business forward. It seems very simple, and a lot of you might be doing this already, but improving these systems in your SOPs and getting help where you realize it's like, why am I doing this over and over again? We want things to be on rinse and repeat. This is where we will start to shine as a CEO and step into that role. This is Amy Check from Schoolhouse Salvage. Amy was very reluctant to delegate. She had a high turnover of staff when we first met. I've been working with Amy now for 3 years. In the last year, especially over a pandemic, she has been putting into place, probably for the last 18 months, learning to put in SOPs, learning to step into that role big time. And Amy, if you're watching, like you're doing an amazing job. So she is front of house, all the things that she loves, energizes her, she's still doing, but putting that CEO hat on, taking time for CEO dates, sitting down, looking at the big picture, that visionary, that she's no longer the superhero, she's the super visionary of her business. And she has seen massive success over the last 18 months, all through pandemic. Her business has just exploded. She now has staff with, all of her, systems are all in place for everything. She's become a systems queen, and before had no concept of like what she wanted to do for systems. She was trying to do it all and getting angry because people weren't doing what she thought they should be doing, right? So we started putting lists and systems in place, and lo and behold, her biggest sales number in 6 years, and no more cash flow issues. And I know if you're looking at that and you're thinking, how in the world, cash flow is such a heavy burden. Again, stepping into the CEO role is going to help you clean that up. This is the ROI of being the CEO. So the third and last strategy on being the CEO and thinking like the CEO, one of the really good habits that we need is being a planner, right? So we have to just become planners. And I hear this all the time, Wendy, I don't have time to plan. And for every little bit of time that we plan, we are saving ourselves so much energy. They say 10 minutes of planning saves you an hour of time. I believe it. I think it's even more. There's even more on that. Becoming a planner and taking the time to become a planner for your business, like for all of the things in that future vision of your business, that is the key. And that is what's getting retailers through this crazy COVID time. I keep saying it's like playing dodgeball, right? Like we have to have a vision for our business. So we want to go there. We have goals for quarterly goals and we have plans. And yes, we're hitting these dodgeballs and all these things, but our goals still remain the same, right? So becoming a planner and understanding how to plan to get there, that's where the magic happens. Front of the house things can all still need planning as well too, but that big vision planning is what we need to really embrace and step into. So I often say we have to plan for profits and success. We can't hope for them. Hope is not a strategy. And this is where a lot of retailers say, well, I hope we have foot traffic this summer. I hope we have the tourists back. I hope we don't have COVID. We can't just keep hoping. We have to plan, and we have to have plan Bs, and we have to know where we're going. We have to have a strategy to get there. And all of these, and I understand that we can't plan for everything. We can't plan. Nobody planned for a pandemic, but retailers that have a plan in place it's much easier to pivot and shift and add things and know where you're going if you have a plan in place. We cannot hope. Hope is not a strategy. We have to plan for it. So again, being proactive and not reactive to everything. How many of you out there are being reactive to everything that's going on? So oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. We just keep thinking forward, keep thinking about where our customers, what do they need? What are they doing? What are they feeling? And we keep moving forward that way. And having that big picture plan and that big final goal at the end is where, and with that CEO hat on, so it's not all just emotional, it's data driven, it's metrics driven. And the data driven person and the heart centered person meet up quite a bit. They have to have dates and chats all the time about everything. And that's how we keep moving forward. We become proactive, not reactive. So planning out what revenue streams, what services we want to ask. I've seen some amazing things happen over the last year. Maybe always just in your little rut of selling these things. And it's like, okay, all of a sudden now, we're adding services. We're seeing different ways of serving people. We're seeing new, whole new services happen, virtual services happen, virtual workshops, all of these things. But planning these out, this is how we get to that revenue goal that we want. That's what a CEO does. What projects, what promotions, what marketing we're going to do to get there. This is all a planner. This is all something you have to be a planner for. And I promise you, I have worked with the people that have like argued with me about not planning out marketing and promotions and all of that thing. But once we have that plan, that goal, we can plan this marketing out there, and then we're prepared for as many dodgeballs and pandemics that come, and we have sort of an even keel on how we're going to work with those. So having everything done in advance is so freeing. I promise you, you'll love it. So the tools for this is just to spend 1 hour a week planning and evaluating, not doing. That is a CEO date in my world. My retailers all do CEO dates. Amy, that you met earlier, fought me on CEO dates for the longest time. And now she's like a dedicated student to CEO dates. And in our CEO dates, we're looking at the metrics. We're doing that big picture planning. We're doing that vision thing. I do mine every Monday morning. It's a non-negotiable meeting. It's something that I always do. So we plan out, and planning out promotions, collaborations, events, everything being done way ahead of time. All of our marketing, all of our promotions based on our goals and our vision for our business, not just, you know, what we feel like doing right now. Again, being reactive to things, having your Facebook and all of those things done in advance. And again, marketing does not mean more Facebook, by the way. Join me tomorrow on my sessions about marketing. It does not, I don't mean more social media. Marketing is like a big, beautiful, it can be a big, beautiful picture of other things, including collaborations. And I put here as well, batching like projects. So be a maker in the morning and a CEO in the afternoon, or vice versa. Do one thing, you know, do those things in the morning. If you have to do all your CEO stuff in the morning and then all your creative cool stuff, if you need that hat on in the morning and then the front of the house in the afternoon or whatever, you know, sometimes just batching work really does help put that CEO hat on and get us in that frame of mind. So having imagine having a simple marketing and all your in-store displays all planned out for an entire quarter, everything done, knowing what you need to do and post when you need to post. Imagine knowing that you're going to be off. Imagine, like, you have a lot of retailers, we just sort of work a lot. we're in the store all the time. I'm a big believer that the CEO needs to help the front staff, which is usually both people, you know, schedule those times off that are important so that we can stay energized and stay creative and all of the things, and make that whole success wheel that we want for our business. Because it's not just about more foot traffic, right? It's about a successful business is a profit and a lifestyle. That's why we got into this business. Otherwise, we could just go work for somebody else, right? So you're going to be astonished at how having things pre-planned frees up all of your time, makes your daily decisions so much easier. Decision fatigue is a thing, right? This year especially. So having things planned out, having an idea, you don't have to think about things, is so freeing. And you're going to just feel so confident. It's going to help build your confidence as well too, back to the other parts. And it's just going to help you all around. So this is Sylvia Davis from Louisville Mercantile. Sylvia loves the energy of her front of stage. She loves being in her shop. She loves being the face of her brand. She loves being there. And she's really had to learn to become a planner and plan these things out. And she's just kicking butt. She's had like her highest sales in the last year, and not just sales, highest profits. So there's tons of retailers because sales don't matter, right? Revenue doesn't matter. It's all about the profits at the end. But she is just, you know, meeting all those audacious goals of revenue and profits. But she's also like, look at that smile. Like she just loves being in her shop and with her people. And she's a creative. She's a painter and an artist. She also does antiques and vintage, and she just loves being in the front. And just having a plan in place has really helped her do what she loves. So this is what it looks like to be like a happy, confident CEO. This is a group of retailers I hosted in Florida. We do CEO retreats. I do them here in Lunenburg as well, when we can. Hopefully someday soon we'll do them again. But confident, ready, and profitable. And these are retailers all that did not feel like CEOs when they walked in, and they all feel like CEOs after. So I hope that you found some of these some of this inspiring. I hope that you feel a little more confident as you step into that role. And I'd love to know some things that you're going to either implement right away, or any aha moments or anything. If you could put them in the chat, that would be awesome. I'll get Greg to let us know. And I also put together, because we want retail success, and we want to simplify our business, but more profits, right? We really need to step into that CE role. It doesn't have to be so hard. So again, we can stay where we are, or we can step into that role. We have two choices, and I know a lot of people come to me like, well, I want to be a better CEO, but I just don't know how. And it's really just a mindset. Keep stepping in, growing those skills. We're all growing all the time, right? We're all growing all the time. So I put some resources together. I didn't even ask Greg. Hope this is okay. It's wendybatten.com/summit-resources. I have some podcasts about being the CEO. I have a download that you can just grab there about some habits that good CEOs, retailers do. And there's also, there's just a few other little things on there that might be helpful to you. So I hope that's all helpful for everybody. And maybe I'll get Greg to post these or send this off as well too. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you found. Do we have time for Q&A, or are we doing
That was
Q&A?
awesome. Yeah, I think we have some time. There's some comments coming in the chat if you're having a look through there.
Hang on.
Julie commented about batching tasks being a good strategy that she's taken on recently. Julie Roswell from Craft Nova Scotia. Julia Purcell has mentioned about looking for some free planning systems beyond just your standard calendar is something that she's looking into right now.
Hang on, I'm gonna grab.
If we have any questions from anybody, now would be an awesome time to put those in the Q&A or in the chat.
Let me know if there's any questions at all. So Julie is looking for free planning systems beyond calendar. So there's tons. I'm just going to mention some of, if that's okay, Greg. I'm just going to throw out some stuff here. Yeah. So also, I just want to let anybody know if they want to reach out, if they have any questions, or they think about this, or they watch about it, please reach out. I'm an open book as far as just reach out through either Facebook or through my website, wendybatten.com. But so yeah, Julie, I have actually a podcast that I did recently on planning, and planning can be as basic as your Google Calendar, right? Just having a Google Calendar put in place, or, having a really good planner and, investing in a good planner, but using things like Google Doc, using things like there's Asana, there's Trello, there's all kinds of free things that help you stay organized. And sometimes stepping into that is a little bit uncomfortable. Like I used to always say, to be honest, I'm too busy to get organized. Like seriously, how I used to feel. I'm too busy to get organized, but just bit by bit, start to get organized. It really does make a difference. So, and batching, I hear somebody asking about batching?
Yeah, Julie mentioned that she's taken on batching her tasks recently.
Yeah, so batching does make a big difference. I have had to incorporate that in my business as well too. Just, sit down, do all the paperwork, do all that accounting crap that we don't like to do all that bill paying all at once instead of jumping task to task. It really does help keep our brain, again, be a CEO at this level, and then get back to your store and to do the fun things, the things that energize you, right? The things that you started this business for. I had somebody say the other day, I did not start my business to sit in my office all day and plan things out, but it is part of the business, right? So Dawn's asking how far out I plan for. So I'm a big believer in at least 90-day planning, quarterly planning, especially for retail. I mean, for retail, we need to be planned out a year in advance as far as products, and we all know that part. But as far as tasks and events and things that we want to do in that case, my group, we like to look at 90-day planning with a focus on the next 90 days. And the reason for that is we can only do so many things in 90 days, right? So how many events, how many, what marketing are we putting in place? What are our revenue goals for marketing? And again, as we all know in retail, it's up and down as far as, January might be a little bit low, February is high, or whatever your marketing is. I'm a detailed planner for the 90 days, and I'm a big picture planner for at least a year out by quarter. And when you break it down by quarter, my friends, it's not that complicated.
Awesome.
Looking for any other
Great
questions there. I don't want to miss
tips.
anything.
Yeah, I don't see any more. Oh, there's another question coming in.
Product plans be just going with your crazy ideas or on market research? I love that question, Julia. Like yellow is a new color right now. Or as botanicals, how long does it take for these trends to filter down? Well, first of all, that's such a great question. Julia's asking, about trends. And so I'm a big believer in planning my inventory out with some things that are trends, and inventory is complicated, as we all know, right? So we don't want to have our whole store be all yellow botanical trends, right? Like just all of the things. So a portion of your marketing needs to be that. You have to have a really, really good understanding of who you serve, right? Again, this comes back to your CEO. I think our part of our decision in our buying is our gut and our instinct. And I see some retailers that have commented here that I know that do this very well. They have that, you have to have your gut and your plan, but you also have to know what your customers, your ICA, your ideal customer avatar, your ideal customer is ready to buy. Like, what are they thinking of buying? Like right now, trends are completely different than they might have been a year ago. Everybody's homesteading and home and hobby and, all of the things. So thinking really, really deeply about who you serve, like who is the ideal customer that comes in, who is the, and sometimes we ask, like I've done roundtables with some of my better clients, like privately, kind of like, hey, Greg, I'm thinking about bringing, what do you think? Oh, no, it's like, okay, I won't do that, but it's okay to ask your customers, but don't go all trend. Don't go all in on trends. I'm a big believer in a portion of our inventory to be trends.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great comment. And, that ideal customer, like you mentioned, is going to be evolving this year as opposed to previous years, right? So definitely something to plan for in 2021.
Yeah. So one of the things, and if I just have a minute to share this, that might help some retailers right now. And again, in the CEO role, it is our job. It is our job right now to say, okay, who can we serve now? If we can't serve, the cruise ship clients, or we can't, if that was, and I'm saying this because I know a lot of people watching are affected by tourism. Well, you know what? All the people who normally take cruises are here. Like nobody's leaving here. We had the Atlantic bubble in our area last year. So what do they need? What are they looking for? This is where the thinking positive and looking at what's going right and looking for the opportunities. My friends, constraint causes creativity. We have to get creative in how we're serving people. I work with hundreds of retailers who were affected just like, everybody else. The pandemic has hit everybody, some way more than others, in that shutdowns were different for some places, and they're thriving because they've done that work to really evaluate how they can pivot their business. And that goes with, and I know it's not for everybody and it depends on your location, but really the opportunities are there. And when we get creative about who we're serving, and we dig really deep into the ideal customer, and the new ideal customer, if they're not there, who's there? If this person's not, if Greg's not shopping with me today because he can't get down to Lunenburg, well, what do my Lunenburg people need? So that's how we have to feel about things. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, super helpful. Great response. So if we have any more last minute questions, now is a great time to drop them in the chat. If not, I'm going to do a quick plug for Wendy's next session, which is tomorrow morning. So 9:30 again, same time, same place. And it's going to be the 5-part marketing framework for retailers. So it's going to be another really good session. And the next session today is at 11 o'clock, so coming up in just under an hour, and that's going to be with Allison Kay Consulting and the 5 ways to improve your web presence. There's another question in the chat there,
Allison's
Wendy,
amazing. Allison's amazing. You guys should all go listen to her too. I also just want to talk about tomorrow, just really quickly, the 5-part marketing framework. Always sounds so blah, but really what it is 5 questions to ask yourself to find the marketing that works for you. I am not really big into telling you need to do more social media. It's really, there's all kinds of, social media is a tactic, not a strategy. So that's what I'll be sharing tomorrow. I do it super simple tomorrow without text. So I just wanted to mention that. Dawn asked a great question, my friend. So Dawn's asking, as a solopreneur, how do I hold myself accountable? I have great ideas, but I can't seem to go forward with them. So a couple of things. That's such a great question, because a lot of us work in this, we're alone in our business, right? And we're the CEO and the front staff, and hey, our ideas are all great and everything we're doing is awesome. But that's why you need biz buddies. You need to have a tribe of people that you can rely on to be honest with you. I love having, this is my very first, when I first started business. I'm way past this now. I have my own coaches, and and I have mentors that I work with now, and I have my own groups that I work with. But when I first started out, I actually had a board of directors made up of some other business people that I just asked if they would be, and some of them were not I'm not talking about your sister, because that's not going to work. She doesn't get it. People who are in business doing things that you want to see done, either follow them on Instagram, or ask some other business people, join groups like this, follow along in higher end groups, connect with other business owners, ask your accountant. It's good to have a business community around you, and people that you actually start reaching out and ask help for. So I have a free group. It's called Rockstar Creatives. People jump in there as well too. On Facebook, it's a free group. You can jump in there. People ask questions there. Sometimes it's important to just find a best business buddy. I always mess that up. A BFF, a best business buddy, somebody else doing what you're doing, and you share and meet. And I had one for the longest time. Nancy was my accountability partner, and we met every Wednesday and held each other accountable. She was a creative and I was a creative in different worlds, but we held each other accountable to what we said we were going to do. And, and then taking it to the next level with, with coaching or groups or wherever you can find that. But yeah, don't stay in that little world. We need to expand. Other people are doing things that you're doing, and other people can look at our business with different eyes too, right? And have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? No, let's do it. So it's important to step out of our own business once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Great advice for retailers, makers, administrators, anybody, honestly.
Yeah, we do get in our own little world. I did it for years. Yeah. This is why I was like so sitting down and having coffee when you can, with a group of other people, it's amazing. That's just like a simple little thing that we can all do. And again, with people who understand business, not necessarily, your mother who goes, what do you do? That's not helpful to you. But I just started by talking to other retailers, like, hey, what are some ideas you guys are doing? And that's how I started building my business. But being in our own little world 24/7, not a good plan.
Nice. Well, I think that's it for all the questions that we have this morning. So we can probably leave it at that. Thanks so much, Wendy. My
pleasure. It's been so great being here. And thank you so much for this opportunity to be here. And it's so great to see so many retailers looking to put their CEO. I always laugh. Everybody laughs at me. And I see some of my people on here and they're all going to laugh. But, wearing your CEO hat makes you feel a little bit more confident. So get your CEO hats on, my friends, and reach out if I can be of service to any of you or support you in any way. So thanks so much, Greg.
Very nice. Yeah, thanks so much. And hopefully we'll see everybody in tomorrow morning's session and in the next coming sessions today. So thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the sessions.
We'll be sending recordings out afterwards too.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Thanks everybody for watching.
All right.
See you.
See ya.